Well, good day, viewers. Today we have a 2012 Impreza that has a typical Subaru problem. Key won't come out of the ignition. Can't turn it off. And I believe it's going to be a problem with the micro switch, which is part of the shifter. It's acting up right now. Usually it doesn't once in a while, but right now it's acting up. So there's a micro switch on the shifter in here that grounds a signal from the body control module or the body integration unit that tells it it's in park and allows you to turn the key right to the off position so you can take it out of the lock cylinder. So we're going to have to access that switch and see if we can modify it to make it work. So before we start taking the console apart, I thought we'd have a look at data in the body integration unit and see if it's actually showing the position of the park switch. So I'm going to try a scan on this vehicle. The other weird thing is it has an intermittent extended crank time, so maybe we'll see if there's any codes related to that problem. I mean, I suppose it's remotely possible it could have a ignition lock cylinder interlock solenoid problem. No codes in the engine, no codes in the tranny. VDC interruption for engine convenience. What the heck is that? Occupant classification system malfunction in history. Power supply relay failure. Now this is a vehicle that was recently purchased used, so any possible number of causes for low battery power. Sensor mat abnormal. It's a bad day when you have a sensor mat abnormal. Well, nothing interesting there, so let's go into the body integration unit and see what it shows for data. I'm going to check it for codes just first. No codes, good. And let's look at data. And let's look at body integration data. Ignition voltage, battery voltage, accessory voltage, front wheel speed, shift position. There was the one we want. It says it's in park, but the key just came out, so that's a possibility. Manual unlock switch input. That must be power locks. Rear washer, front wiper, shift lock solenoid output. That's shift lock, not ignition switch lock. But we'll look at that one. P switch on. Is that the park switch? I don't know. Wonder if it shows the illumination. Keyless buzzer, illumination lamp, keyless operation, small light switch. Not the big light switch, it's a small one. Wow. Snap-on, we need a alphabetical search capability. Mind you, I haven't updated my scanner in a couple of years, so maybe they do have that now. Rear lock solenoid, key locks, there we go. Key lock solenoid output. All right. I'll get the owner to go in the vehicle, start it, and shift it back and forth, and we can watch these data parameters. Start it up, put it in drive. In drive. Yeah, make sure you step on the brake. Okay, put it back in park. Will the key come out now?
Yes.
Oh. Try it again. It's working now. Imagine that.
I'm gonna charge my parking brake on because I normally park with my parking brake.
Okay.
Working.
Yeah, just like when you go to the doctor, you don't feel sick anymore. But it was doing it a few minutes ago.
I'm gonna shake it. Oh, I feel lightning. No, it's working.
Wonder what blank, shift position blank means. Keep repeatedly trying it.
It's not letting me know.
Okay, so right now it's showing park switch on, shift lock solenoid output off, shift position blank. That doesn't make sense. I've never looked at these data parameters before, so this is a new one to me. Try it a couple times.
Yeah, right now it's stuck in that first accessory.
So the key is stuck in accessory or ignition accessory mode.
Now it's off.
Now it's off.
After I wait for it.
Well, that doesn't make sense. Nothing really changed here as far as I can see. I think it's supposed to say park here,
It's working now.
not blank. Well, we're going to try and manually test the voltage out of that switch. I think it's a pull down circuit, but that means taking the console trim off. Let's get started. So we're looking at the gear shift lever, and here is the P range switch, which I believe is what's malfunctioning. And this pink blue wire from the BCM or body integration unit gets pulled to ground by the switch, I would imagine when it's in park, because it's shown normally open, and I would say it would close in park, but we'll figure that out. So it's a pull down circuit, and of course when the BCM sees you put it in park, it energizes the solenoid on the ignition switch so that you can turn the key all the way to the off position. I think the purpose of this is to prevent you from accidentally turning the key off while you're driving down the highway, thus locking the steering column and making it exciting. So if you're stupid enough to turn the key off when you're going down the highway, then you deserve to crash, I think. So we're going to tee into this pink blue wire right at the shifter and read the voltage on it. Okay, so we got a voltmeter connected to the pink blue wire, which is right at the top corner here. And when the gear shift lever is in park, it should be pulled to 0 volts. Now if I move the gear shift lever, just move it ever so slightly, you can see that the voltage is jumping all over the place. Now it's 0, actually not quite. There, now it's 0. So that switch has malfunctioned, but the switch is not a serviceable component from what I understand, and it involves replacing the entire shifter. So I think we're going to try a momentary push button switch on this thing and see if we can wire that up. Okay, so the two wires you want to attach to are the pink blue and the black yellow. And I'm using a little momentary push button switch that when I push the button will mimic what the switch in the shifter does, but we're leaving the shifter switch in there too because it works 60% of the time. And we're just going to mount this little button here on the shifter because this person is financially challenged. So there's a workaround push button switch. Turn the key on. So if it acts up and it won't come out, just press the button and it'll, let's see if I can get it back on the, Oh, the test lead fell out. So right now, if I press the button, it pulls it to ground and the key comes off. Good. Well, we can put it back together like that. It's not recommended for everybody because they'd have to know what to do, but this person's a mechanic, so she's perfectly willing to accept that rather than changing the entire shifter.